What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the You Know Ball podcast. I am your host, Trill Bro Dude, and I did not expect to be sitting here with James Harden back on the Sixers, and everything is going normally so far. So far, everything's been very normal, very regular. Just very standard week for the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden obviously shows up to Colorado for training camp and does not cause a stink. Although if you were reading Woj's tweets leading up to that, you would think that he was about to perform a terrorist attack on the practice facility.
I mean, I will say this does have the feel of like when you get in a fight with your girlfriend and you're like, oh, I'm going out. And then you like come home and she's like, how was your night out? Oh, nice. And then just like things are normal, but like, something bad.
There's something lurking.
Yeah, something's been filed away somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
There's your credit score, your social credit ranking has gone down.
What evidence is James Harden currently sitting on is what we need to ask ourselves, folks. What is he going to put out there into the public? Luckily, he doesn't have internet, so we can't expose Daryl Morey online.
Goes up to training camp. Daryl, the first time in training camp, he very clearly has his phone recording in his shirt pocket. So Daryl, remember when we tampered and I didn't want to, and then you made me tamper? Do you remember that, Daryl?
Remember you offered me that 4-year max guarantee a year ago when I said explicitly, Daryl, we have to wait until next summer. Those are the rules. I always play by the rules.
Daryl, do you remember that? That would be awesome. I hope that's what he's working on. I hope that's what he's cooking.
He's cooking up something, and I have something that I want to run by you. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Sam, I got last week's picks wrong when we did them, so that means that you're going to have to come up with two here. And unfortunately, we can do Sunday games if you want, but I think it would be funnier to do it for Thursday Night Football, which is airing in a few hours. Actually, you know what? This episode's going to go up on Friday. You could pick between any games that you would like. I'm not going to restrict you here because Thursday Night Football is a fucking nightmare of a game. It's the Commanders versus the Bears.
It's perfect. No, I think I am going to do a Thursday night one. So we have a higher on Justin Fields yards. He only needs a yard, that promotion. So we will be taking
we'll throw that in.
We will obviously be throwing that in there. I want to see Jawan Dotson. Let's take a look at Jawan Dotson on the
State
Commanders.
Legend, Jawan Dotson. Let's go to his.
Yep. I obviously love Jawan Dotson. Just kidding. He's on he's on 2 of my fantasy teams, and he's garbage. He's terrible. So
yeah, he hasn't had a great season to start the year.
The only touchdown he got was a fumble recovery in the end zone last week.
Yeah, I know. That was brutal.
So we're gonna go lower on his receiving yards.
Receiving yards. Okay, yes, 42 and a half. Okay.
Yes, 42 and a half. Even that's low. Trust me, he will be under that.
I was going to say, let's see what his stats are on the year, because I don't know how many. He's had 27, 21, 22, and 40. So he has not hit higher than 42 and a half. Not even really come close recently.
Now it is the Bears defense. I will give them that. But but that's a fair one. And then let's take a look at the Bears. What are we?
All right, so we have the Bears skill position players.
Yeah,
Chase Claypool not on here.
Okay, all right.
Not on here. He has been sent home permanently.
So no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so first off, they traded the 33rd pick in the draft for him last year.
I remember that.
And they're already sent him home. They're probably going to cut him or get a 7th round pick back for him in a trade.
Jeez,
so
that's terrible.
Yep.
Let's go higher on DJ Moore's receptions. 4. Okay. That's a pretty. I feel like DJ Moore's been eating recently, so
he ate in the first half last week. Their whole offense was eaten in the first half. But yeah, no, he's had 8 receptions, 3 receptions, 6 receptions, and 2 receptions. So good chance that he goes higher on that. So if you go on Underdog today and you use that promo for half a total yard from Justin Fields, you do higher on or lower on Jahan Dotson's receiving yards and higher on DJ Moore's receptions. Let's throw $10 on that. You can win 60. So go on Underdog today. Use the promo code SLOP. That's our promo code. It helps the program. You get a $100 deposit match when you sign up. for Underdog. They also have best ball for basketball, which we'll be doing a draft at some point. We did one for football. That's been a lot of fun. Bud has been kicking our ass with Justin Fields as his quarterback, as Sam pointed out on Twitter the other day, just absolutely owning all of us. But it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy following it every week. And the best part about fantasy on Underdog is that you don't have to update your rosters. It just picks the best players for you. So sign up for Underdog today. Use the promo code SLOP, all of that good shit. So, all right, Sam, we're back to the Harden news, which is not much news at all. It's honestly has not gone as I expected, but I was sent this in the Ball Discord. I need to get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Someone sent this. I'll just keep them anonymous for now because this was a DM they sent me from someone else they got.
Okay.
What if Harden tried to separate himself from Morey, knowing that he was touring China this year to appeal to China, and all of this shit was an elaborate reuse to sell sneakers, and the Sixers knew about all of it. And wine, by the way. He sold his own personal wine and made millions of dollars off of this in China.
I might go the other way. So that's believable. Okay. But let's remember that, James Harden does have a history of becoming disenchanted, but then diving in with both feet to his new team. What is his new team? The Guangdong Tigers.
Let's go.
So that is what he is actually right now. He is a Manchurian candidate. Part of the reason he's behaving so well at camp right now and not causing a ruckus is because he is currently he's doing what I would call the first run through on Hitman, where you sort of learn the exits, you learn where the best target everyone is. And he's right now he's going to do the no detection, no stealth run on Daryl Morey, suit only, no detection run on Daryl Morey at some time in the coming weeks.
Before he can flee the country and
yes,
rightfully reside with his best friend, President G. I mean, I said he should just show up to the facility wearing a President G shirt and really send the message to Daryl Morey. Look, this conspiracy theory isn't the most insane thing in the world, but it is at the same time. If I were traveling to China and touring, I certainly wouldn't want a guy to be associated with a guy who is, known for protesting against their government. If I'm traveling the whole country trying to sell my wine and sneakers and all that shit, making millions of dollars in the process, I just thought it was a great theory. The reality is that Harden wanted his money, and all of this has always been about money for Harden.
Yeah. And
part of the reason why he probably wanted that trade was because we knew that he would get a trade kicker in the deal that would get him like $4 to $5 million extra dollars if the Clippers or whoever traded for him were willing to pay it. On the record, the Sixers paid him 25% of his money about a little over like 2 or 3 months ago, I believe. They paid him 25% of his money before he showed up to training camp. He showed up to training camp, pulled a Costanza, acted like literally nothing happened. Oh, I'm here. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing has happened. But I have seen some other conspiracy theories floating around. One that I saw from someone in the Discord that I kind of liked was also the fact that maybe Harden and his agent have realized with Morey's tactics of just never backing down, their best play here is to go in, act like Harden's happy, try to maybe make the team look good, make everything appear like it's, peachy keen, nothing really going on. And then the Clippers, if they get out to a slow start, will offer up real value for James Harden in a trade. And the Sixers might be open to doing one now that they've struck out on Drew Holiday.
So I'm glad you brought this up, because this is something that was driving me a little bit insane when I was listening to Lowe and Beck on their podcast about like the Drew trade and the Damian Lillard trade earlier this week. And they were saying, in the context of with Aaron Goodwin. Aaron Goodwin's his name, right?
Aaron Goodwin is his agent.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan and Dame Lillard's agent.
They were saying in the context of Aaron Goodwin and like how antagonistic he made things like right out of the gate, kind of destroying Portland's leverage. not giving Portland a chance to negotiate. And they were saying, like, when you do that, you destroy the team's leverage and they can't get a good deal. The thing is that players, once you're done with a team, they don't want you to have leverage. This is the Carmelo Anthony thing. Because why would they want to make the team they're going to be on worse?
Exactly.
Why would they want to help you give up more, unless it is, usually it's because there are young players or players that would be kind of rivals to playing time going back. But like in the case of the Miami Heat, all of their guys are important guys because they have no fucking good players. So like that was like never an issue, and they kept like missing that portion of it. So that is why. So back to Harden and the Clippers.
No, you can't just brush over that.
What?
The Miami Heat, who just made the finals for the second time in 4 years, have no good players.
Yes, correct. Yes,
okay.
I don't understand why I don't understand.
Just wanted to confirm. Just wanted to confirm.
I don't understand why I had to go back to that. It should be evident. But to go to Harden though, the thing is, James Harden genuinely does not care.
Yeah.
He's not trying to win. So this actually works for him. He doesn't give a fuck if the Clippers have to give up everything, as long as he gets paid and gets to, shoot 20 times a game. So
exactly.
So this is actually a great idea for him. Like he doesn't have to take the antagonistic path because his goals actually align perfectly. Like the more thin and shitty the Clippers are, the better it works out for him. The more over a barrel they are to give him money and to like give him reps, like on ball reps, especially with like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard possibly leaving. So I think it's a smart move by Harden actually to kind of play ball this way. And, maybe he and Daryl connected and Daryl was like, look, man, maybe Daryl got through to him and was like, I lied to you. Yes, I'm an evil snake. However, this is your best move right now. So just work with me. I will eventually take care of you. You will get the money. I'm sorry our friendship had to go down this way. I'm just kidding. Daryl Morey doesn't believe in friendship. But, I think that is probably what's going on, is that, they've realized there's really only one destination. And luckily they can play this. There's no urgency now because the musical chairs has stopped and the Clippers don't have anything, and neither do the Sixers. So there's a lot of reason for both teams for them to get this done. So
do you remember when Kevin Durant asked for a trade and wanted to go to a few teams? He had like Phoenix, Miami. He had like a handful of teams on his list.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a report that came out that was like, Kevin Durant wants to go play for Miami, but he doesn't want them to trade Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin. It was like the whole and it was before Tyler Hero could even legally be traded because of the poison pill. And everyone was like, well, they have to give up something. You're Kevin Durant.
Right.
I think the only player in the NBA that would care about what the other team is sending back in a trade for them is LeBron James. And the reason why I like, from a legacy standpoint, like if LeBron were to get traded for not much, it would be a bad look. He's never been traded, obviously, because he's too good to be traded. But if he were to get traded for like, whatever the Harden package is right now, which is like Robert Covington, Marcus Morris, and a first round pick swap that they're willing to offer, then LeBron might be like, wait, that's kind of a bad look. I'm the greatest player of the last 20 years. I might not want to get traded for that. But like you said, Harden doesn't care about legacy shit. He doesn't care about, I don't want to say he doesn't care about winning. I just don't think it's the number one priority to him. I think the number one priority to him is like, if we are to believe, I'm skeptical of the Stephen A. Smith thing that he said about what Harden said to Ime Udoka, which was, he said he wanted to go back to Houston and win a scoring title, which Stephen A. just cooks sometimes. You just got to let him cook.
Yeah.
But it does show you, I think that Harden's priorities are, I want to get a ton of shots and I want to get paid and I want to, potentially be, the star that I once was and be looked at in that light. And if I get to do it while playing at home in LA and great weather and a lot of nightlife, then even better. I'm closer to Vegas, all that shit. I don't think that he cares about what is coming back for him. And also, like, for who's on the team right now with the Clippers, there's not much they could send that will make their team worse. Like, Terrence Mann is possibly the best player they could send back. And if you get James Harden, they're probably better than if they just keep Terrence Mann. So long story short here is I think the draft capital is really the difference here. If they were willing to give up both of their first round picks, I even think the Sixers might not even care about getting Terrence Mann, because I think that they will value expiring contracts because they want to have free agency next year or things to trade at the deadline. And picks and swaps, that doesn't even affect the Clippers on the court, really.
Yeah. While you were talking, I just realized something, because there's a third team that was really fucked by all the Dame stuff and fallout. Why would Miami not call about James Harden? Why would that
boomer posturing? James Harden, Miami Heat culture guy?
I mean, look, they had Hassan Whiteside at one point in time. Like,
but they discovered Hassan Whiteside and then immediately shipped him out when they realized it was a bad idea.
I mean, I guess, but like also Hassan Whiteside was nowhere near as good as some. They had Dion Waiters, who they did bring in. They've had
Dion Waiters is
they've had some they kind of trust their infrastructure. They will do challenge stuff like this to trust their things. And the thing is, you probably don't have to give up that much to get James Harden,
compared to Damian Lillard.
That's what I'm saying. You could still have some ammo, and you could maybe even possibly flip Harden if, he doesn't fall off a cliff, in some of these, if you want to target Embiid or Giannis or Dame after they get swept in the conference finals here. If you want any of those things, but I just think, you could trade Tyler Hero and like a pick or two, or even for Kyle Lowry, if Daryl would prefer that, to keep the cap space plan alive. And
he would rather have Lowry in the picks. I don't think Morey doesn't trade for big contracts unless he's the one who signed them.
Right.
And kind of to go back to your point, Tyler Hero signing that extension might be more of a point in your favor in this argument, which is, look, Tyler Hero is a score first guy. He's it's not to say that he might not fit Heat culture, but he's definitely not the guy I think Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler are very much the prototypical Heat culture guys.
Caleb Martin and
Caleb Martin. Yeah. And the point that I do want to bring up here is they have flat out said, no, we don't want to do it. And we made fun of Barry Jackson, but I think that Barry Jackson had some insight on all this with the ownership that we've talked about. I don't think they're going to want to give Harden his next contract. And if they're saying we don't want to give up value to get Harden and then sign that contract, they just saw what happened with Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry was, in my opinion, at the time, worth that contract. I thought he was worth $30 million a year easily. Yeah. And then he gets injured when he goes there. He ages out after, he was really a great fit and a good, he wasn't declining, but he was still a really good player his first year with the Heat. And now you're looking at a situation where they've talked about salary dumping him. They've talked about waiving him. So I think that they're a little bit skittish when they feel like they have this opportunity when, whoever the next star becomes available, whether it's, I personally think it's going to be done. I think a year from now, we're going to be sitting here and the Nets and the Heat are going to be both competing for Donovan Mitchell is my guess. And I also think that Daryl Morey, would Daryl Morey trade? I think Daryl Morey is just a guy that's I'll take the best offer. I don't care where the guy goes.
Right. Yeah.
But trading him to Miami, who already beat you in a playoff series, infamously, not before Daryl was there, but infamously stole one of your best players of the last all time, really, in Jimmy Butler. And, your front office allowed that. But long story short here, you're essentially potentially making another team better in Miami, unless it's a kamikaze mission and you're just sending James Harden there to kill the whole organization.
That's true. I mean, and I wouldn't put that past Daryl, to be honest. He kind of did that to the Nets with Ben Simmons.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I don't know. But the thing is, I just, if I were the Heat though, fuck, does that address a lot of your shit though? The same way, is James Harden, like, he's worse? Is he that much worse than Damian Lillard? Is he that much different and that much worse than Damian Lillard?
Yeah, I mean, different deficiencies, I would say that much. I think Damian Lillard at this point in his career is a better offensive player than James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that some of Harden's defensive stuff has been overblown, whereas the stuff with Dame is legitimate. Like, Dame can't help it. He's 6'2", and he's just like he'll try, but there's just like something.
James Harden's strong as shit.
I don't think that Harden's defense was really a problem with the Sixers. In fact, there were games, look, there's always going to be games in the regular season and in the playoffs when guys get targeted, but there were games where he was a legit positive on defense, and I can't say the same for someone like Damian Lillard.
No.
For what the Heat need at the higher levels, I would say Damian Lillard is a much better fit. It's in the same way that I think that with the Bucks. Like, I just think that a guy who can organize your offense, it's not to say that Harden can't, but Dame's fall off, his drop off in efficiency is not going to be quite as drastic as this version of James Harden, I think.
I just think James Harden and Jimmy Butler are like two beautiful yin and yangs that like would just complement each other perfectly. Like James Harden just absolutely busting ass in the regular season on like just on a night where Jimmy is hurt and sitting out. And then the second James Harden starts to eat shit in the playoffs, you just have Jimmy flip his fucking superhero switch. And you've got Bam backing them. I would think about it if I were the Heat. You don't have to give up as much as you would have to for Damian Lillard. I think you would still have enough assets to still be in. And I don't know. I would kind of trust Eric Spoelstra. Like, I feel like Eric Spoelstra could figure that out. Like, who has been James Harden's like great coaches? Like Mike D'Antoni is like probably the best coach he's ever had.
Definitely. Yeah.
I don't know. Like
disrespect to Scott Brooks, actually.
Yeah.
Evan McHale, like I don't know, it's not a great list.
It's the Steve Nash thing.
So we do have some minor breaking slop from Sam Amick, who, look, I will trust Sam Amick over Sam Amico. I famously created the Amico equal good, Amico equal bad meme.
Right.
Sam Amick has been hit or miss though. He's
tier 2 slop for sure.
He's tier 2 slop. He's definitely a legitimate journalist and he's good at his job.
Yeah.
But there have been certain things that he has reported that haven't been even like remotely close to the truth. And there's also been times where he's been completely dead on. So this is
like the Mark Stein level of slop.
Yeah, I would say he's in that tier of slop guy.
Yeah.
So here is the breaking slop. It's not really much anything new. But this is from the NBA Central, tweeted it. Okay. James Harden remains hopeful of joining the Clippers, and the team is actively working to finalize a deal. The Clippers, league sources say, are going to great lengths to make it happen. League sources say the Clippers have been talking to several teams about ways to move pick swaps for additional draft capital with the intention of bolstering their offer and getting a deal done. So it feels as though this whole ploy of having James Harden come to training camp might have put a little bit of pressure on the Clippers, and maybe this conspiracy theory about his agent and Harden working together with the Sixers is not the worst thing in the world, because if the Clippers are still actively trying to improve their offer, I think missing out on Dame and Drew probably lifted the urgency a little bit. And as I've said before, I would like to get a nice like rotation player like Terrence Mann. But from what Jake Fisher was saying the other day, it sounds like Daryl Morey is more open to an offer where they get, unlike the Ben Simmons situation, because Ben Simmons had so much time left on his contract. It sounds like the Sixers are more open to getting, let's say, a legit first-round pick and two first-round picks, expiring salary, whatever, so that when maybe Zach LaVine or Jeremy Grant or one of these guys could become available at the deadline, that they could have an offer for that guy, or everything goes to shit and next offseason they could still have their cap space plan, quote unquote. So I will say I'm a little bit more optimistic that a deal gets done as opposed to the Simmons thing, because Morey was dead set on getting an all-star in return. but I'm still like, let's see how all of this shakes out. Morey doesn't care about any of this. He doesn't care. That's what's driven us so insane, is that he doesn't care about optics. He doesn't care about what people say in the media. He doesn't care if it's awkward between Harden and the team. He doesn't care about all this. Like, he got along, like, all the videos coming out, like, everyone's talking, like, nurses talking up Harden at camp. The teammates are talking up Harden at camp. Everything seems to be going swimmingly. Harden's beef is with the front office. So I think that they're willing to ride this out and make it awkward. And they're really banking on the Clippers getting off to a slow start. And honestly, with their track record, it's maybe not the worst plan in the world. And I don't want to give Daryl Morey any credit, but with the Clippers' track record of guys missing games and them being in the play-in range the last few years, maybe he is banking on, them maybe starting off like 5-11 and getting desperate and throwing a real offer at the Sixers instead of just, salary filler and a pick swap.
Yeah. I think we will. I guess my thing is, like, I'm very interested to see what the trades the Clippers are making to get picks back are.
Well, it's kind of like what the Suns did. Remember, we were like, what the fuck are the Suns doing?
Yeah.
They're offering swaps that have already been swapped. So it's like the second best of 3 picks, basically, for 5 second-round picks or whatever, to like the Washington Wizards, the Oklahoma City Thunder, or whoever. There are teams that have a ton of draft picks that have OKC, Utah, and New Orleans come to mind, of teams that just have draft picks, and 1, won't be able to make all those picks, and 2, a juicy unprotected Clipper swap like 5 or 6 years out feels like it could have more value than like a lower first round pick that like you own from like the Nuggets or the Celtics or whoever.
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, and especially if it's like a second swap, who have they made trades with that's also going to suck? Because I'm trying to think of like where the value would come. Because the other team has to be bad too, or you have to project the other team to be bad. Yeah.
Because Oklahoma City's going to be good is the thing.
Right.
Is that like their swaps that they did with Oklahoma City, I think the majority of the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander trade, now I could be wrong here, I think the majority of the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander trade was not swaps. I think it was just straight up firsts. Okay. Because they had so many. They had like 6 first-round picks. I think they might have only done like 2 swaps maybe in that trade, and I think one of them might have already conveyed, or didn't convey. So you can don't quote me on that, but if that is the case, then they might actually own a decent amount of their own swaps, is what I'm trying to get at here. But my thing is, like, if you're the Sixers, wouldn't you rather just want to swap from the Clippers that could be very valuable?
Yeah.
I guess you can't really flip that in another deal, though. I don't understand how this works. I think you can.
They have 1 swap.
They only have 1 swap available?
Sorry. No. They're sending 1 swap to OKC.
Okay. For what year?
2025. Yeah.
I mean,
so
that's probably not.
I think if I'm reading this right, though, I think it might already be a double swap with like Houston involved in some capacity.
Probably in the Eric Gordon trade or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Kenyon Martin Jr. they got this summer. Maybe they threw a swap in there. That's actually really funny.
Houston then has the right to swap its pick or the Oklahoma City pick for Brooklyn's 2025 first round pick.
So that might have been in the Harden pick or Harden trade.
It's Brooklyn, Cleveland, Houston, Indiana. So that's the James Harden trade.
Yes.
So
God damn, we're going down a swap hole right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that swap is truly nasty. It's so hard. You know what's so funny is I've been such a draft pervert for so long, and I use the Real GM future drafts detail a lot because that's like a good. They keep track of like what's going on with everything. In the last like 3 years, that page has gotten so much more fucking insane than it ever used to be. Because it used to just be like, this pick goes there, this pick goes there. Now all of these have like a fucking 3 paragraphs about the journey that these picks have taken and the swaps and all the conditional shit on all of them. It's really fucked up.
You're trying to follow swaps like it's fucking Inception. Like it's literally just layers on layers of reality that you're trying to dive through.
Yes.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. So ultimately, look, maybe a deal does get done. I'm not optimistic. I'm here for it at this point. We're gonna get into our power rankings during the Patreon part later, but you'll get to know a little bit more on my feelings on where the Sixers rank as actual contenders when we talk about that. But if they aren't going to be real contenders, which I'm very skeptical of in general, then might as well just make it as be the center of the NBA talk show universe for at least another month. Give me something here, because I know it drives me insane, but this Harden showing up and being normal, I was like, what the fuck? I expected shit to pop off.
Right.
Maybe he does it in a game. Maybe he's saving it for preseason and just be like, hey, this is what's coming. this is what's coming down the line. But I don't think he's going to test anything that will fuck up his money. And honestly, smart of him. He shouldn't be fucking with anything that fucks with his money if his ultimate goal is to get paid here. So that's it. Those are my thoughts on the James Harden stuff. I just thought it was funny that nothing ended up happening when we all anticipated, the Bing AI memes that everyone's been making of Harden flying the planes into the tower. Woj, the way Woj was explaining it. But everything's good. Everything's good in Fort Collins, Colorado. Oh, did you see that Woody Page stole my dad's joke?
No, really?
Okay. So a few nights ago on Twitter, I tweeted out a joke that my dad texted me. He texted me, and I'll read the exact screenshot and it blew up. Like, it got like 400,000 impressions or something. My dad was very proud of himself. Yeah. And he texted me and said, the Sixers are in Fort Collins, Colorado. That's as close as they'll get to the NBA trophy. Fort Collins is right near Denver. Right. And so I tweet that, and I get a DM from a person who is followed by Woody Page from Around the Horn and a Denver guy. And he had retweeted my tweet, the guy who is followed by Woody Page, and sent me an article from Woody Page that was the exact same joke as the headline, the closest that Embiid and the Sixers will get to the NBA trophy. And he published it an hour and a half after my dad said that joke and my tweet blew up.
That was the headline?
It was the literal, if you clicked on it, it said the closest that Embiid will get to the NBA trophy.
Awesome. You just plagiarized your dad in the fucking title? That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the whole article was about how the Sixers are basically frauds. I mean, he's not wrong. But I just thought it was really funny. My dad was like, the guy from Around the Horn. I was like, yeah, you technically work for ESPN's Around the Horn now. Yeah. I don't even think he's on the show anymore, but
he should get some money. No, I think didn't he get canceled? He might have gotten canceled, Woody Page, if I'm
sounds right.
I'm not shocked if that's if Woody Page was not canceled. I have cosmic madness.
I was going to say apologies to Woody Page if you haven't been canceled. Look, I know they tried to cancel our girl Jackie Nick Mullen before. She had to retire. Bill Plaschke, who has been pounding the table for the Sixers to trade James Harden to the Clippers, and he also pounded the table for the Lakers to hire Doc Rivers away from us. He's been my guy. I hope he hasn't been canceled. But all the Around the Horn. Around the Horn was such an iconic part of like my teenage years. It was like the perfect after school slop to come home to and just watch Around the Horn part of the interruption. So that I just got a real kick out of that. My dad was very excited that.
How old do you think Woody Page is?
78. He's old.
That was really good. Yeah. See, 77. I don't know if I would have guessed that. I probably would have guessed 65 or something like that. He's fucking old. Oh
he seemed old when I watched Around the Horn 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I was in high school watching Around the Horn.
We're just old now.
Yeah, I guess it's just, I'm old now. Fuck. Shit. Oh, well.
Oh, wow. Shams is co-reporting the Amick stuff.
Wow.
So the Harden Clippers, so they might want to get a deal done soon. Wow. God damn it.
Brian,
I'm not giving Daryl Morey any credit for driving me insane again.
Yeah, he might have owned you. I saw friend of the pod, Brian Toporek, re-upped that the old deal was from last time was just, salaries and 1 first-round pick.
And we don't know if it was an actual pick or a swap.
Okay. So, and what he said was that what Brian was saying was that the Sixers valued Terrence Mann and multiple first-round picks. So probably looking for something like that.
Honestly, I've said it before. I would use the "we really want Terrence Mann" thing to get more picks out of the Clippers. The problem is the Clippers don't have a ton of picks, but like if they're so gung-ho on keeping Terrence Mann, I would be like, well, if you want to keep Terrence Mann, we need this, 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 and this. And like the problem the whole time has been that the Clippers just don't have enough to do that with. But if I'm not getting Terrence Mann back, I'm walking away with every piece of draft capital that I possibly can.
Do you think Morey would just flip Terrence Mann?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Terrence Mann's a really good player. I actually think that he could end up being a really nice, like 4th or 5th guy on a good team like the Sixers. I just don't think that he helps them right now if their goal is to get a star for Harden. Like if their goal is to get I love Maxey, but he's probably not going to be the second guy on a title team next year. If their goal is to upgrade that second spot or at least solidify the 3rd spot behind Maxey, Terrence Mann just doesn't do that. He's like a 4th or 5th starter, and he's a really good fit on a lot of teams because he's a good point of attack defender. He can shoot, he can dribble a little bit, pass. Like he's a nice, good player, but I don't think that Daryl Morey is like dying for Terrence Mann.
I know. My friend, enemy of the pod, Danger Card just tweeted the funniest thing that could happen now.
He's trolling us again.
No, he said if Woj tweeted that the Clippers have traded for Malcolm Brogdon in the next
hour. He is trolling us. God damn it. Damn it, Danger Cart.
I have to admit that would be very funny.
That would be very funny. But, every time the Sixers get their hopes up, it's like, oh my God. No, they got Dave. They got Drew. Malcolm Brogdon. That would be really funny. Although I want to bring up a point that before we wrap up the free section, I want to bring up something that Chiodo said to me like a week or two ago before all these trades went down. That was so funny. And he was like, what do you mean if they get Drew that Harden won't want to go to the Clippers anymore? He'll be like, they're building a super team. Let's go. Get me there, baby. They trade for Malcolm Brogdon. And he's like, awesome. Cool. Yeah. Another shooter that will spot up off the ball.
That's what I mean. That's why I just I think this is why it is a wise move for Harden, just because look, you don't give a shit about winning, man. They will pay you. Steve Ballmer will always pay you. So it really is win-win. So we'll see how this deal shakes out. Very interesting though.
It would be funny if we get another goddamn trade, dude. We're really getting this second part of slop season. I wouldn't expect it, knowing the history, but certainly something to keep an eye on. If you want to continue to listen to this episode, we're gonna power rank all 30 NBA teams, and we're also going to talk about Joel Embiid committing to play for Team USA in next summer's Olympics. So subscribe to the Ball Patreon. The link is in the description. We'll be doing a lot more content on the NBA this season. We're going to be offering a lot of stuff. You also get access to the Ball Discord, in addition to these premium episodes and some other cool stuff. So check it out if you have not already, and enjoy the rest of this episode.